Hey, y'all, this is Marianne Pack, your spiritual guide, and I want to welcome you to our Coffee and Convo Live announcement and invitation live. And I have with me our guest that is going to be with us on Sunday morning, and this is my friend Robin Finney of wanderingant.com. And I want to welcome you, Robin. Thanks for coming and sharing your morning with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Marianne, and for all of. I'm excited to be with you and your queens.
Yes, my queens, people who are on a quest for the ultimate empowerment, fully engaging now. So if that is you, which I know it is because you are here, it is a great pleasure to have Robin to share our time with us. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about Robin and read a little bit of her bio because it's pretty extensive. Robin is an intuitive and authenticity guide. She is a retreat leader, writer, international model, and speaker. Ooh, we got to find out about this stuff. She travels the world and is the founder of wanderingant.com. And we're going to find out how in the world she came up with that name, but we're going to hold that until our show on Sunday. So she supports others in allowing their authentic selves to be seen through intuitive clarity sessions, solo travel retreats, and photo shoot experiences. She believes at the core of being human, we all have a desire to be seen and heard. Isn't that true? Robin uses her work as an intuitive guide to create safe spaces for this core desire to be present. So, Robin, tell us, how did you become an intuitive and authenticity guide?
Yeah, it's so funny when you asked me that question, I was thinking about it, and I don't know that it was something that I set out to say like, oh, I'm going to do this and look at XYZ and figure out how to be this. And it was not that. It was more the universe kept showing me signs throughout my journey, especially in the past 2 years while I've been traveling all over the world. And I was in a coaching program last year, and it was just really, I continued to uncover who I am at the core and learn more about just being highly sensitive, or in other terms, you may have heard of the word empath, and learning like I have a lot of open centers and channels, and I take in a lot of energy. And so in the process, I've had to learn to kind of hone in and tune in to what energy is mine and what energy is someone else's. And through that, I use various tools, meditation, oracle cards, writing, and it's just a lot of different practices, and it's really opened that up for me. And just in having conversations with other people, it's like I kept seeing, it's kind of like a mirror, when you can see yourself and someone else, or vice versa. And I kept just receiving these hits, and so I stepped into it, and finally it came down to me owning it, that I am an intuitive and authenticity guide.
Didn't you tell me one time you kind of had people, asking you about, hey, could you pull a card for me or something like that?
Yeah. And it was funny. It kind of came about when I was traveling in Albania last year. I went for a wedding, and I was traveling with some friends, and we were in the car, and we picked up a couple people along the way, and we're like road tripping. And somebody was like dealing with a decision about whether to go see this girl he had been dating or stay on his journey. And so I was like, well, I can pull a card for you if you want. So I pulled a card, and I didn't know this guy at all. And it was so spot on for him. And then we kept meeting people. And then my friend, she would text me, and she'd say, hey, I'm with this, I'm in a hostel, and I met this person, and they're going through this. Would you be pulling a card? And I would remotely just pull a card and send her the message. And she would say, oh my goodness, that's like, you said the exact words that person needed to hear, or just said to me. And so it's just little things like that kept coming up.
Absolutely. I think that's so much how Source helps us develop these skills. and these ways of intuitively living, you know, to expand ourselves and grow ourselves, but yet we get to affect, you know, influentially goodness and messages from the universe and from source. And it's, yeah, so many times they're just spot on. They're just so apropos for that person or that situation or ourselves. And so to develop that's just, I love that. So I want to invite you all Sunday morning, June the 14th at 10 a.m. You're going to find us here live for Coffee and Convo Live at Mary Ann Pack Coaching on Facebook. So right here where you found us today is where we will be. And that will start at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. So I want you, Robin would like to talk about how to be seen, how to be heard and validated. And like she said, as humans, we have this deep desire to feel understood, to feel a bigger part of a community, that connection, that understanding. So, and that oneness that we share, because our spirits are all interconnected. And to feel that oneness and that love from each other is so important for us as human beings. So is there anything else you'd like to share, Robin, before we close out and move on with our day?
Yeah, I would just invite everyone to join. And I know this conversation is really important for right now, because I feel so many people are trying to find their voice in the midst of everything that's happening and in the world, and specifically in our country right now with racism. And I just believe at my core that the underlying desire for each person is to be seen and heard. And I'm just hearing, it's like what's coming out to me in so many ways, and what I'm learning for myself is we don't know how to validate people. And validating is all about allowing someone to be seen and heard, and not comparing, not saying, oh, I understand, I've been there, or yes, I went through that. Because no, it's different for every single person. And so I really believe this conversation is so important. And I invite everyone to tune in, because we're going to really dive in and talk about the ways that we can each own who we are and stand up in that conversation.
Absolutely. This is a very timely subject, and it's been needing to be talked about, and it's time. The energy shifts are coming. They're on the way. They are in the process. So I would encourage everybody to attend this. And if you just cannot come live, be sure that you at least, you know, listen to the replay. And I just wanted to put up, you can find Robin at wanderingant.com. And again, we're going to find out about how in the world that name came up. Or you can also find her on Facebook or Instagram at Wandering Ant. So I want to thank you, Robin, for visiting with us this morning. And everybody, come join us. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be informative, and we're going to learn things about ourselves and what we need to change. Who do we need to be that change? Yeah. How do we need to grow into our becoming of the wholeness of who we are, blending spirit, mind, and body? So I love you, and I thank you, Robin, again for coming and sharing your time with us. I appreciate you. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.